So the film starts with William, who is a scientist and an astronaut. He has decided that he will make a planet like Earth for humans, where oxygen and water will be available. For this mission, he thought it would be better to go to Mars, where it will take him about 270 days to go. We hear William's voice here, who is saying that in the whole space, Mars is as small as a dot. There is no life or death there, but I have decided that I will bring life there. Every passing day, I'm getting closer to Mars. I feel like Mars is calling me. Now we are shown the scene when William's spaceship was about to launch. On this mission, another astronaut named Emily was also going to go. But before that, William would go in his spacecraft. And then, a few days later, Emily's spacecraft was to be sent behind William. Many people thought that William is on a failed mission. He will lose, but William had a lot of hope. Finally, his spacecraft also launches into space, after which William begins to see the distant Earth through his spaceship in a spacesuit. Space, these stars, all this was very beautiful. William had never seen such a beautiful view before. Until now, everything was going according to plan. He got permission from the control center that he can now take off his spacesuit and do his routine work. William's friend Skinny was controlling this mission from Earth. A few days later, Skinny asks William about the reactor he made, which was actually a machine that could extract oxygen and hydrogen from the soil and make water from it. William's entire mission depended on this machine. William thought that such a reactor could also supply water and oxygen to Mars, so that humans can live there, and this was a huge success. This reactor was not completely ready yet, but William hoped that he would complete it in these 270 days. We see William doing his daily work in this spaceship. He makes his food, extracts his water through the reactor, and gives water to his plants that he had to grow on Mars. This journey to space was not that easy. Being alone for so many days affects the mental state of a person a lot. To keep his mind right, he exercises every day, reads books, is busy with his work, and also writes a journal. But despite doing all this, his sleep gets disturbed after a few days. Stress overpowers him. Despite hearing the sounds of different things on Earth, he can't sleep. So he gets up and starts working on the reactor. Now he was afraid that if this reactor didn't work, his entire mission could fail. It is shown that for the first time, William took this reactor to the desert to test it. He had been making the reactor for a long time, but his reactor didn't work here either. But he came up with the idea that he would go to the desert without any water supply. In the hot summer of the desert, he worked continuously for 3 days. And when he started dying of thirst, he had only one option: to extract water from this reactor and save himself. In this condition, he helped the reactor to be repaired. And for the first time, his reactor gave water at that time. The water he drank saved his life in the desert. This was the time when William decided to take this experiment outside. Through this experiment, he wanted to make Mars a habitable place for humans. He shows this experiment to his friend, Skinny, who believes in him and fulfills his arrangements to go to Mars. Finally, William had left for his journey, and he had a lot of hope that he would succeed in this journey. Skinny used to take updates from him every day. William felt that everything was under his control. 2 weeks later, William had to take some supplies in his ship by stopping at a space station. He stops here and meets 2 astronauts present here. He was very happy to meet them because he was meeting a human being after a long time. But the strange thing was that they were not happy to meet him. They were very sad here. They tell William that they just want to go back to Earth because the experiment they were doing had failed. All the plants and animals that they had brought with them had died. Now they had no reason to stay here in space, and now they were missing their family a lot. One of them warns William that you still have time, you can go back to Earth if you want. William found it strange because William had just come here with a hope, and there was no such problem with him for which he left hope. Here, William also gets a good news that his second astronaut has left for Mars. His spaceship was also launched from Earth, because of which William was very happy. Hearing this news, the second astronaut was even more sad because he was seeing that 2 more people's lives were going to be ruined. That's why he tells William not to take such a decision in which you have to regret later. Anyway, it is shown that William now comes back in his spaceship, and his spaceship separates from this space station. His journey continues, and he leaves the space station far away and moves on. But still the words of that astronaut were echoing in William's mind. He remembers his ex-wife, who was also an astronaut. When she was going away from him, he thought that day was very big. Anyway, a few days pass by, and today there is a little damage in his reactor. William was hoping that he would fix it. In fact, he was happy with this challenge because after a lot of days, he was getting to do something other than routine. A few days pass by, and when he is not able to fix the reactor, then he starts to understand the hopelessness of that astronaut. But he was not so hopeless now. He was hoping that he would somehow fix the reactor, just like before, when he had repaired the reactor in that new desert and made it waterable. William does not tell anything bad to Skinny, his mission head. Today was his birthday, so his family made some videos and sent them to him, seeing which he was very happy. To keep himself more busy, he started learning new languages. At the same time, he also took good care of his plants, like he had to plant them on Mars. Everything was normal, but one day, his contact with Houston, his headquarters, and his partner astronaut breaks, and he gets very scared. After drying for a long time, he gets in touch with Skinny, and Skinny tells him that something has gone wrong in Emily's spaceship, because of which he is not able to contact Earth. William tells him not to worry. I try to contact him and explain to him. However, Skinny also warned him that you cannot guide him. If anything goes wrong, you will have to take this work. But William said, "You have faith in me." He contacted Emily and showed her his spaceship and started guiding her how to fix the spaceship. Finally, Emily and William succeeded. His spaceship was repaired. Emily's connection with Earth started again. Headquarters again took control of his spaceship and turned it back on the right track. Because of which, William, Skinny, and Emily were very happy. Now the routine of a few days continues like this. William did not know about the day or night in the spaceship. He just spent his time here. And just like that, because of loneliness, one day he felt that his sense of smell had gone. But he couldn't do anything about it. Every night before going to sleep, he used to hear some sounds of the earth to stay connected to the earth, like the sounds of rain, the sounds of birds. But now these things didn't work on him either. It had been many days since he had been alone, and now he started feeling that this space will come out of him. He started eating alone. He also tries to keep himself mentally strong, but only then he sees that there is a big problem in his reactor. In order to fix his reactor, the new experiments that he had done with the reactor, the water in the reactor started becoming poisonous, and the reactor had made all the water in the spaceship poisonous, which William could not use now. William was afraid to tell all this to the mission control, because he knew that if he discussed all this with him, then this mission would be stopped. Although going to Mars is his biggest dream, he can't see his dream break like this. Now when Skinny contacts him, he sees William's face expressions and knows that William is in some trouble. But William lies that I am just worried about getting away from the Earth. But Skinny was not left either. He was seeing that William is working on the reactor the most these days. He asks him if the reactor is okay or not. William still lies that everything is under control here. No matter how much he was hiding, maybe this news would have been found out one day by the control room, because another part of his reactor burned one day, because of which he was very worried. Now he was in the same trouble that Skinny contacted him and told him that Emily's mission has been terminated, because there was a lot of damage in his spaceship, because of which he is now being brought back to Earth. William himself was also worried, but he doesn't show his worry to Skinny and tells him that, don't worry, everything will be fine. William was supporting Skinny, but all his hopes were breaking. He knew that he was heading towards death. If everything remained the same, he would die soon because the water was completely finished to drink. He was taking care of the drop by drop of water. Because of the lack of water, his plants were also starting to wither. Now he even started squeezing the water out of plants and soil so that he could use it for his survival. Now 5 months have passed. William had kept himself alive on a drop by drop of water. Every day in his mind, he was thinking that what would happen if he reached Mars and could not fix the reactor. Now he could not hide this from Skinny. And when Skinny asked, he told him that his reactor is broken and all his water is poisonous, without which he cannot survive. The situation was very bad. Skinny told him that he would give him a day's time. If he could not fix it in a day, then this mission would be stopped here and the spaceship would be turned back to Earth. Hearing this, William was very upset. He had prepared for this mission for many years. How could this mission be cancelled? Even the next day, he could not fix this reactor. So Skinny orders him to wear a spacesuit and get ready. The spaceship is being turned back to Earth. The fuel had already been delivered to a space station from where it had to be refilled. And that fuel was enough to bring the spaceship back to Earth. His mind was not accepting all these things. He was not working so hard to go back. He had to go to Mars somehow. That's why he takes all the decisions, all the control in his hands, and ends all the connections of this ship to Earth. When he was doing this, Skinny also came to know about it. Skinny told him that without Houston and the control room, you will not be able to reach Mars. It is possible that if you get lost somewhere in the spaceship, you can die. But this time, William did not listen to anyone. After finishing all the contacts from Earth, his real mission started. His real problem started. He had to go to Mars while surviving without water. And if he gets lost even a little bit, he knows that he will get lost in the depths of space. Every day, he used to live on a drop of water and overcome his problems. He used to try to keep himself mentally fit. Every day, he used to check all his senses, whether he has the senses to speak, smell, and hear. During all this, he thought many times that why not open the door of the spaceship and leave himself somewhere in space? Kill yourself. But then he used to shake such thoughts too. One day, he got a weak signal where Skinny was trying to contact him, and he was requesting him to contact him. The people of Earth are still hoping that William is alive and will do something for them. Hearing this from Skinny, a small ray of hope rises in William's heart. And in the next scene, it is shown that his spaceship is stuck in colorful clouds. These clouds were around Mars, and finally, he had reached near Mars. After wearing the spacesuit, he was ready to land on Mars. And finally, after landing on Mars, he was shown to put his feet on the ground of Mars. And with this, the story ends here.